The Alarm NBA DFS show with Jon Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, everybody? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Preview Show. It is Friday. It is Listener League Friday. We have 13 games on the main slate as we wait for the championship of the in-season tournament coming on Saturday. Currently recording at halftime of the Lakers-Pelicans game. We saw the Pacers upset the Milwaukee Bucks. Pacers have now outseeded the Celtics and Bucks in the Eastern Conference side of the in-season tournament there. Waiting to see who their opponent will be, whether it be the Lakers and LeBron and James trying to win the first ever in-season tournament, or if the Pelicans will be able to overcome their current halftime deficit there. But either way, it was exciting, fun basketball to watch. I know we're not alone in that. The numbers, James, for the in-season tournament, through the roof. Is the most watched regular season basketball of like all time. So, you slap an in-season tournament on it, you throw a trophy out there, and the people go to watch. I also don't know if you saw, I retweeted it, Damian Lillard touching the championship trophy. And a reporter was like, no, that's bad luck. And he laughed, and then he grabbed the trophy again, and they lost. So, sometimes those little superstitions are real. Never touch the trophy till you win it, because now Dame will not be touching that trophy again, or at least not for this season. So a lot of fun things to talk about. This 13-game slate is already kind of off itself here. No Kevin Durant already ruled out for this one. Numerous players listed as questionable or already out. So, it's like they're taking the weekend off. Maybe they're going to all just go to Vegas and watch the championship. Like, I don't know. They're all banging out for the Friday slate here. So that will be something to pay attention to as we come across, throughout the day here on Friday. I'll be on the 13-game playbook for everybody. Stay tuned for the news as we are previewing this slate. More and more will obviously come throughout the day before our 5 p.m. live show.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to sit here and break down all the injury news, but we'll go over a couple we'll go over a couple totals that are significant. Atlanta, Philly, 241. In some places, I see Caesars has it at 243. Philly 7-point favorites. Trae Young is questionable in that game with an illness, so we'll see what happens there. Brooklyn, Washington, 238 to 239.5, depending where you look. Brooklyn 9-point favorites at home. There is 4 games with sub 220 totals as well. Knicks, Boston, obviously that's pretty gross. Cleveland, Miami, probably even grosser. Minnesota, Memphis, the grossest of the gross. Houston, Denver running it back for like the 8th time this year. Right. I feel like they've played every day. Sacramento, Phoenix, as you mentioned, no KD. I think no Grayson Allen in that game as well.
Correct. What do you make of that, right? That news is out already, and Phoenix is only a 1.5-point home dog, right? Like Sacramento going in fully healthy, and they're only a 1-point road favorite over a Durant-less, Beal-less Suns team.
I feel like that's just like respect to one side of the game and not to the other. Just giving maybe like Bradley Beal or Devin Booker a lot of respect here, even though, it's he's kind of been bad of late. At least from a efficiency standpoint, he's kind of been bad, and Phoenix has been teetering win-loss lately. Right. So, it's definitely an intriguing line and one that I would be willing to bet.
We're getting Golden State OKC again. OKC, at least this time, having some respect on their name as a 4-point home favorite. It's a lot closer earlier this year. At one point, they were like a home dog, I think it was, the Golden State, and they absolutely torched them. Loving SGA in this spot. We'll break down the position-by-position matchups here for everybody. Any other games, though, for you that you're targeting before we jump in?
Let's see. Dallas, Portland, 227.5 is There's not. I don't see anything. I guess like the Golden State OKC game is the only other over 230. Everything else is pretty middling, and I'm sure we'll have plays here and there that we like from basically every game other than Cleveland, Miami, Minnesota, Memphis. No thanks on all accounts there.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's take a look at this DraftKings main slate here. Luka Donk God here.
Oh God.
40, 10, and 11 the other day
Yeah.
in 3 quarters.
Seems good.
Yeah, against Portland. Yeah, willing to pay 11-8. You know, I mean, we were worried like, Kyrie, Hardaway, they're all back. Utah blowout. Well, it was a blowout, all right, because in quarters we got 40, 10, and 11.
Right. I think that's probably like the thing, right? Like, obviously, predicting a 50-point blowout is impossible. Did we think that could happen? Like a blowout? Sure. 50, no. And that's just stupid. That's just a stupid line. Like what we're looking at here
by
is
half,
stupid.
didn't he?
Yeah, that's stupid. It's incredible. So like, yeah, if you think that Portland can keep this game close, now there's potentially no Malcolm Brogdon here. Brogdon left and didn't return for knee soreness. I've never seen someone leave just because of knee soreness, but I guess when you have the target list of injuries that Malcolm
So when
Brogdon
you have the knees
has,
of
like,
Malcolm Brogdon,
yeah, when you just have the knees of Malcolm Brogdon, like anything is possible. So, wait to see the status. I think Portland probably is less competitive in that game without him, but they did get Anthony Simons back.
played
He
all the minutes right away.
played all the minutes right away. So like he is good enough to keep them in that game, I guess, if he shoots better than 10 of 27. So if you want to get to Luka, by all means, you mentioned the SGA stuff already. He's
averaging like 57 fantasy points, I think it is, against the Golden State Warriors this year.
Yeah, and we know. I mean, he hasn't gone for a ceiling in like 6 games, so he's due. His last ceiling game, he had 40 and 12. So if you want to play someone at 10-6 who has a 40 and 12 ceiling, by all means,
he went for 65 in one of those games against Golden State.
I think that was the crazy overtime Chet.
Maybe.
That was
probably
the crazy,
41 minutes.
Yeah, that was the crazy overtime Chet game where then SGA went on like a 12-0 run in the fourth where he solidified it with a steal on Curry and then a end one on the other end. You're like, okay, this guy is. So,
yep. Trey here at 10-3. We'll have to watch the illness, obviously. Ho-hum game for him, 30-9 against Brooklyn. Yep. Doing the work. Devin Booker at 10-1 sans Durant.
Yes.
Feels like a good spot here in a game where the total and spread are just 235. You got to think Booker's in for a pretty strong day. De'Aaron Fox, Maxey, Curry. I mean, like loaded for 13 games at the point guard position here.
Yeah. So like, right off the bat, it's hard to ignore Devin Booker in this spot because the Kings haven't been that good defensively. They're moving up in pace. They were kind of playing slower earlier in the year, but obviously they were without De'Aaron Fox, so that just happens naturally. Without Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant this year, Devin Booker 1.5 DraftKings points per minute, which you would expect it to be a little higher, I'd say, but 1.5 is still super elite.
Still pretty elite.
No, it's still super elite. I think I'm just like he is like.
You thought it'd be like 1.8, 1.9.
Dude, he's upper room in the NBA. Like he's an upper room player with like top 15, 20 players in the NBA. No Bradley Beal, no Kevin Durant. It's 180 minutes. Maybe that goes up if we get it like continuously, but 1.5 at 10.1 is an elite number. So I'm willing to get there. De'Aaron Fox on the flip side has a pretty good matchup in his own right. Pretty like a floor game for him in a 30 actual point game where he only has 41 fantasy points is super weird. But the Pelicans, that's Herb Jones and Jose Alvarado just being super annoying to everyone involved.
He went from 3 assists, 16 assists, 4.
I know.
So, even those out a little bit for us there, De'Aaron.
Yeah. So like if you want to get to Fox, that's fine. I'm still taking the same stand on Curry as I do every slate. No, it's 30-something actual and nothing 39 fantasy points. Yeah. And then the Maxey thing is very interesting because he shot the ball really well. The rebounds have just kind of gone away for Tyrese Maxey of late. And he can still score the ball, but like when JoJo is just doing what he did last game, it's super hard for Maxey to also have a ceiling. Like I mean,
Oh, what? When your center goes for 80, it's hard for you to have a good game? Is that what you're
dude, he
saying?
had 50, 15, or 13 and 7. Like, what else can anybody do, really? Especially when you're, and I'm not saying Maxey can't have a ceiling game here against the Hawks because it is a good spot, but look, if you want to play Maxey,
Embiid's going for that crown again. So,
dude, I mean, look at this. He's been this
he
guy.
seems like the guy that looks to see what Jokic did the night before.
Right.
And it's like, okay,
Yep.
like you wait here. I'll hold my beer, and goes out there and basically does a copycat performance. So
it feels like he's better than he was last year. In a year that he won the MVP, it feels like Joel Embiid just.
I had this debate we would definitely have had it with Fensty a whole bunch of times. Might have just you and I have talked about it. I think Joel Embiid can be the most dominant player in the NBA, like Shaq-esque in his prime.
Right.
When he's in the right shape.
Right.
Because he has every skill set. Now, Jokic obviously does as well. He has the range. He can pass, can score at will. But, like, I feel like if Embiid wants to apply himself and give his most effort, I think he is naturally the most talented center big player or whatever in the league. So, maybe that's a hot take, but I've had that conversation a bunch of times. I've taken that stance. It's not a talent thing with him in the past. It had been a conditioning and effort thing from keeping him from reaching the levels. And we saw it last year out of him, and we're getting an even better version out of him this year. So fun player to watch.
I would say the Shaq comparison was like really good because I think he can be like that dominant. Jokic, I feel like is a little more skilled than him just with, and I mean, dude, I'm not going to sit here and like play like who's better at, I mean, they're both just as good as they're as good as it gets in today's game. Funny how like we go positionless and now like two of the best players in the world are centers, right?
It's very possible that I'll give you that probably from a pure passing standpoint, Joker feels a bit more polished. But I mean, the assists that we're getting out of
it's crazy.
It's crazy.
And he didn't have the opportunity playing with Harden, right? Like that opportunity doesn't present yourself when Harden's he's just ball dominant. Right.
Agreed. And maybe Philly's even looking at Denver as like, hey, listen, their offense runs great when they have Joker standing out there playing it. So, anyways, great time to be a basketball fan. There's so many talented players in the league. We're going to way down the mid tier of the point guard position here. Brunson gets Boston, Rozier against Toronto. We mentioned Brogdon. We'll see. Van Vliet, the scoring comes and goes with him. Cade down to 83. $100 here. Harden coming off of a really good game. He's $7,900 against Utah. Garland at 78 against Miami. Dinwiddie revenge game from a team that kicked them off the team. 76. Like, how are you feeling about this mid-tier range? A lot of guys that we haven't often gotten a lot of exposure to this year.
So Terry Rozier feels really safe right now. 69, 46, 47 fantasy points. 40, 35, 40 regulation minutes in the last 3 games. Averaging back.
40 fantasy points per game for the season.
Yeah. And I mean, if that's just the type of production we're going to get, we've said it since he's come back. The assists were like the first thing that popped for us, and it continues to be there for him. I mean, this is a guy who can play make for others and himself. I mean, we're seeing it, right? 37 actual and 13 assists in the same game.
How about the 1 for 11 from 3 and still had 47 points?
I know. If he just imagine he didn't shoot threes, he would have been 9 for 13 from the floor, and like no different of a game for Rozier. So, yeah, I liked the ceiling floor combination we're getting out of Rozier, even at this elevated price tag. Van Vliet, I'm shocked to even see 14 shot attempts. I think he hadn't taken one until like the second half in that game. Right. Like I remember you and I were like, oh, Van Vliet hasn't taken a shot. I think you said something like
he had 0 points and 6 assists at one point, and then he only had 3 more assists the rest of the game and managed to score 11. So
it's like he has a nice floor, but it's not an $8,400 floor. Like
he's another guy like where if he has the night where he shoots, like he pops for 50, but it's only happened a couple of times this year. How much is like the evolution of Alperen Şengün, like
Yes.
and Jabari Smith and these guys. They've had FVV like, hey, run the offense. Let these guys, you be the bailout 3, and go from there. So again, Rozier for sure. I agree with you. I don't really like much Detroit in this matchup against Orlando, outside of maybe our boy Bojan when we get there.
Yep.
I was crying to you a little bit the other day. His numbers ended up not really popping as much as it started.
Yeah.
13, 10, and 9 for him in that game against Brooklyn. But still very much willing to run the 8K price tag for DeJounte there. Mentioned Harden coming off of a ceiling game, 46 fantasy points now, 50, 43, and 46 in the last 3 for James Harden, and gets Utah here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good spot. The shot attempts are slowly creeping up. He had 4 straight games of single-digit shots, now 4 straight games of double-digit shot attempts. He's making threes. He's clearly the point guard on this team. And he does have, he's always been good at stealing the basketball, which is weird to say because James Harden's MO has been not being able to play defense. But he has been a pest in passing lanes for a long time. So I'm okay getting to it. It's not like I wouldn't say it's a priority, but it's definitely a really good play. It's a massive pace-up spot for the Clippers.
Okay. Garland, Dinwiddie, Murray, and Kobe White here in the 7K range. How would you rank them?
Murray, Jamal, right?
Yeah.
I do like the 30 minutes. I just don't like the matchup against Houston all that much. I do like the price too. 7,500 is a good price. I'll go White number 1. I don't know if that's crazy, but dude, he has been
You were
good.
skeptical
I was.
the $6,900.
Absolutely was skeptical. I ended up playing him in the Charlotte game, and obviously, it panned out again because he's just been nails. Even in a 16 or 6 for 16 shooting night, we're getting almost 40
went
minutes.
On a little bit of a self run there during the fourth quarter of that game. I think he got back to the line on back-to-back shots, free throw attempts. So I like it. I like the aggressiveness we're seeing out of him. They just got word Levine's going to miss another 2 to 3 weeks. I think the Bulls are shelving Levine until they find a trade. If I had to assume personally here, hey, you know what? They're also winning without Zach LaVine. Surprise, surprise. So Kobe White looks great. Definitely $7,100 still very much in play. And you get San Antonio here. San Antonio threw out the new look starting lineup. We'll have to talk about that when we get up to them as well. And then you have Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie started off missing a lot of his shots, came back a little bit and finished that game strong here. I don't really want to pay $7,600 for him. If they're going to send out the lineup that they sent out the other day, just pure offense.
Yeah, no thanks.
I mean, I understand he took 19 shots, but I don't really care too much for that price for him. So
same.
Out on that, under 7K guards, Simon's quickly up to $6,800. Keontae George is still 67. You have the Boston guards, Schroeder at 65. Cole Anthony 68. Where are you looking here?
I'm pretty much, I think, ignoring this range.
Okay. Simon's too priced out for you now?
Simon's probably the one guy I would. I don't think this is too priced out, especially if there's no Brogdon. I mean, 37 minutes.
The year at 6,700. So
right. And dude, I mean, 37 minutes, 27 shots, just out of the gates, firing. No, he just has the ultimate green light. There's no Grant. There's maybe no Brogdon. There's maybe no Ayton.
They traded Lillard because they had Anthony Simons. They felt comfortable with that. So
yeah, I'm perfectly fine. I'll say, you know what, I didn't mean to skip over him. I just saw Chris Paul 68 no, Keontae George 67 no. The Boston guys are kind of in this game. Don't need to go there. Even Schroeder feels a little too expensive. It was I glossed over Simons unintentionally.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Again, it was kind of a gross tier. Devin Vassell started 31 minutes, 9 of 16. He's better than a $6,400 guard. I would say pretty much everybody not named Wemby in that starting lineup is probably a 7K player. From Collins to Keldon to Vassell. Who am I missing? Collins, Keldon, Vassell. What's the guy I'm missing?
Well, they benched Sohan.
Oh, Chetty. Chetty's not a 7K.
Chetty, yeah, they
started Chetty. Chetty deserves to be 4K. But yeah. Keldon, Vassell, both 7K players. Zach Collins is probably a 7K player. So I think you're getting some value out of Vassell here.
Yeah, 6,400, and the point guard eligibility is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the first time. Yeah, no, for sure. Just the first time we've gotten that this year. So yeah. I don't know what Pop is trying to do, but I feel like he's just like ruining players at this point.
He didn't like the Sohan experiment anymore. Under 6K guards.
He doesn't like the Sohan. 2 games removed of Sohan going for like 35.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? Right. He also told us that for the foreseeable future, Vassell was going to be off the bench, and 2 games later he's starting. So, excuse me. The rest of this tier down here, I mean, Blake Monk has obviously been a popular play lately. He's up to 6K now. Yeah. Do we have the Keegan Murray update?
Yeah, he's off the injury report.
Okay, so probably kills some of the minutes for him there. Sexton, Tyus, Lowry. Killian Hayes was someone you called out the other day. 24 fantasy points, not the worst, output for him here. I mean, where are we going in this range?
Hayes also started that game like 5 for 6, and I messaged you or said something to you like, "Oh, he's just gonna not miss shots anymore," and then he missed all the rest of shots. Tyus Jones was in like every winning lineup the other night in that Philly game. It's hard to expect him to replicate it when he plays mid-20s minutes normally, but when he makes shots, he can play 30, 31, and 42 back-to-back. So Tyus at 57 is okay. Killian, and the matchup is just not great. Maybe we see an extended Jordan Goodwin, but like 5,200 is a gross price tag. Get Aaron Holiday off my screen, please. I know. I get it.
27 minutes.
I know. It's just, what are we doing?
I don't know. They're playing them though. AO played 21.
Yeah, that was with Caruso like back and not injured.
Sure. They started Exum, played 26 minutes alongside that crew.
What was the now he played 26 minutes, but did we see? All right, here let's see what Exum played in a blowout. He did play the fourth quarter.
Okay.
The first like 6 minutes of the fourth quarter, for what that's worth. So
I mean, is that fine though? Does that just mean like he plays like regardless? Like if that's a competitive game, he plays. If it's a blowout, he's playing. I mean,
yeah, he played 6. He had 3 shifts in the first half. He played like 15 minutes. So if that were to even out, he plays 30 minutes in the second half. I don't think there's any different statuses for Dallas here. Grant's out, Josh Green's out, Kleba's out, so it's like status quo for that team.
Right. Anybody else for you?
4,500 around there. I don't think so. I mean, Patrick Beverly, back to reality.
Yeah.
What did Chris Dunn end up playing? 17 minutes. Can't do that. No, I don't think so.
All right.
Yeah, he's dead. He's Jaden Hardy.
Oh, what did you mention? Dennis Smith Jr. What did he end up going for?
I mean, Dennis Smith Jr. $4,700.
22 minutes. If you're getting 20 plus minutes out of DSJ,
dude.
I don't know.
I mean, no, I don't disagree. It's Washington. It's a great spot,
right?
It's a great spot.
Shooting guard here. Ant Edwards missed everything he took. 4 of 17. 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Great. 1 block, 1 steal. Perfect. He just didn't score. Yep. Gets Memphis rather here, so a better spot. A guy who did score, Desmond Bane, 49 actual points.
Scored a lot of points
against Detroit. Now, tougher defensive matchup for sure. He just struggled mightily in this same matchup a few weeks back. Yep. The man took 31 shot attempts.
It's a lot of shots.
Detroit. It's a lot of shot attempts. I don't know if I pay the $9,200 though.
Not in this spot. Like going forward in a good spot, I would entertain it, just given like what he's done lately. But nah, 9,200 against
Donnie Mitch also had a monster night.
He did.
Always capable of going off.
And he's cheaper than he's been in a very long time. And by that I mean the cheapest he's been all year.
Is Karis LeVert out again? Do we know?
Karis LeVert. Click on Cleveland here. Is out.
Does that have any bearings on Donnie Mitch? Maybe.
Let us figure that out. Yeah, let us see. Players off the court. Karis LeVert, first name on the list. Thank you for that. That's nice. DraftKings points per minute for Donovan Mitchell, 1.24. Okay. Leads the team. Very, very solid number. Nothing like astronomical, but very solid number.
Yeah, just again, Miami in the past had been a team we wanted to attack, but not really a matchup we're afraid of these days.
No.
So 9K, Donovan Mitchell. If I don't play him, you guys get the green light to do so.
This is very true.
Paul George, 86 against Utah in Utah. Probably fine, but not my favorite matchup to attack here, given how poor Utah has played. You have Jaylen Brown, Shaedon Sharpe here, 82, 8K. DeJounte, we've talked about. Cam Thomas, heavily promoted by us on Wednesday. Went out and had one of the worst games he's had all season. Maybe the worst.
That was the worst.
Right. He had the worst game he's had all season. Fewest shot attempts he's taken all season long. I am willing to run it back. It is Washington. He's more expensive as well, so it's going to cost me even more to play him this week in this spot, but I don't imagine he goes 3 for 10 again.
It's going to cost you in more ways than one, John.
We'll find out. But if he goes for 35, I feel like I
agree. I mean, it was so bad. We watched him make a 3, and then it got removed during a timeout. And
they're like, his foot was out of bounds.
Yeah.
And then I think they gave him a turnover. So
and then they gave him a turnover.
It's even worse.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, he's an elite scorer. He's averaging 24 a game on the year, right? Like, he had a bad game. He had an awful game. He had a terrible game. You can move on and have a goldfish memory in DFS. You will be better long-term that way.
Jordan Poole almost beat the Sixers the other day. He and Kyle Kuzma. $6,700 against Brooklyn here. Let's see. You always like playing D'Anthony Melton. I never really get there, but the dude is just...
Yeah, he's been good.
The dude is smashing right now. Even with Kelly Oubre back, still a big day from D'Anthony Melton. I would get in a pace-up spot against Atlanta. Is $6,500 too much for D'Anthony Melton?
I think only because the minutes kind of stunk.
Okay.
Even he was really good, but everyone plays, and then 27 minutes is kind of crappy.
No Grayson Allen, no Kevin Durant. Yeah. Eric Gordon looking nice to you here?
Yeah, it's got to be somebody else. I mean,
it's not going to be Josh Okogie, right? Or Kenneth Bates Diop.
There is somebody. Is
it Jordan Goodwin? We didn't even look at Jordan Goodwin. Where's Jordan Goodwin at?
I mentioned he's 5,200. That's not comfortable. It's another guy not comfortable of a price.
He probably gets a bump though. No,
maybe. Dude. Phoenix has just been one of the weirder rotations in the NBA, right? Day to day, it's very hard to figure out which player is doing anything. So. Yeah.
Cash gameplay, Max Strus. Little revenge against Miami.
Yep.
No LeVert there helping him out. OG had 23 actual against Miami. Gets Charlotte here at $6,100. I don't think I've played OG once this year.
You've only missed out 3 times because that's OG Anunoby in a nutshell. He has ceiling games every once in a while.
Ceiling game from Duncan Robinson against Toronto the other day. Always bound to happen.
Him and Caleb Martin both. They're looking
Caleb
at each
Martin
other.
Started again.
Yep.
So if Caleb Martin is just going to be in the starting lineup, we just play Caleb Martin.
Yeah. I mean, especially $200 cheaper than Duncan.
Haywood Highsmith's out again, right?
Haywood Highsmith.
Yep. He's out in Bam's out. They're going to start Caleb Martin again. So $5,900. Mm-hmm. Got Miller here at 59.
Yeah, it's a good little tier right there.
Mm-hmm. Whole bunch of minutes for anybody on Charlotte, so that's all fine. Oubre came back, played 20 minutes off their bench. Was good, just needed more minutes, needed more playing time. Quarter 31 minutes for him. Let's see. Anybody else down here for you?
So I guess what's gonna happen with the Orlando if Suggs misses? Gary Harris played 31 minutes. Not that we'd want to play 4,900 Gary. Oh, never mind. 41 or 4,900 for Gary Harris is insane.
No thanks.
That's insane. I mean, that's
Caruso played 31 at 5,100. I could probably see that.
Yeah.
Norm played 31. Back-to-back games of 30 plus minutes for Norm Powell here.
Yeah, he just didn't sit. He checked.
I said that to you. I was like, Norm hasn't come out of the game yet. So.
Once he checked in both halves, I don't think he sat. I think he just played. Yeah, I think he played the rest of the halves.
Noel is a shooting guard only now. 26 minutes. I mean, the dude has an actual role. 26, 34, 26.
Yeah, he played more minutes than D-Rose.
Yep. So we gotta give him some considerations here.
Mm-hmm.
And revenge game narrative against Minnesota.
Sure.
So $4,500 willing to throw him in there. We talked about it on the stream, right? Like Koulibaly was getting weird chalk on that Wednesday slate, and then he goes out, plays 28 minutes, gives you 25 fantasy points at 43. He's now 4,500. If he's sitting there at 16% again, I think we gotta really just consider him here.
Shamet out again too, so the minutes are just gonna be what they're gonna be.
Yep. That's how I look at it. Always throw darts at Sam Hauser or Isaiah Joe. Hauser hit 5 threes the other day. I mean, I don't get this dude right, but 4 straight 20 plus fantasy point games at 4,400.
Yeah,
I played him twice, and he went 1 for 9. So
I'm not against it.
10 rebound game in 21 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not against it. It's obviously it's
he has a role. It's no longer debatable.
No, he's the only secure role. Even Peyton Pritchard plays 12 minutes every once in a while. Right? Hauser just has the best role of all their role players. So
especially with Porzingis. So I guess Porzingis is expected to play in this game.
Yeah, it's tough.
So I don't know if that takes away because they, a wing rotation spot for Hauser, but even when they were all playing, he was still playing 20 minutes. So I think we're probably fine there. Again, Isaiah Joe only got into 14 minutes in that Houston game. It wasn't the best spot for him, but
no, it was not.
Let's see. Anybody else down here for you? What do the Collins do? 15 minutes.
Even in a game, Jalen Suggs gets hurt. Anthony Black plays 15 minutes. He just can't. He just can't play.
You saw the report that the Knicks declined to include Quentin Grimes in a trade to get who was it now?
I did not, but that's whatever it's going to be is funny.
It was like the whole the Lakers
Horton
Tucker, yeah.
For Chris Paul, I think it Chris Paul? Was it Chris Paul?
No, it was Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry, that's what it
was. Donovan Mitchell. The Knicks reportedly made Quentin Grimes untouchable during the negotiations to acquire Donovan Mitchell from the Jazz.
Well, Donovan Mitchell is from New York, so he wanted to go to New York.
Yeah, when the Jazz was trying to trade Donovan Mitchell.
You know what? I've heard this because I heard
made Quentin Grimes untouchable.
I've heard Donovan Mitchell talk about it directly, where he said, "I had my bags packed and I thought I was moving back
going to New York." Yeah. And then I got a layover in Cleveland, and here I am. Anyways, teams in the NBA are hilarious with who their untouchable players.
And did you see Quentin Grimes come out after that in-season tournament loss, complaining about his role?
He's like, I can't get in a rhythm when I'm standing on the floor for 8 minutes and I miss one shot and they sub me out. It's like, well, hit the shot.
Yeah,
hit the shot. But yes, we knew that was going to be a disaster when they signed 7 guards. So.
Yeah. Yep. Sure.
I mean, dude, they didn't even pick up Emmanuel Quickly's. What is Grimes thinking here? Yeah. Small forward JT's at 10-1 against the Knicks. Butler at 93 against Cleveland. Here's kind of an interesting spot with no Bam again. 19, 2 and 8, 35 minutes. A little bit of a floor-ish game out of Jimmy Butler. We know those come and go. Scotty Barnes against Charlotte. One of Barnes or Siakam are going to have a big day. Which one you decide, but one of them two are going to have a big day here against Toronto.
Siakam just easier to fit because he's $700 cheaper.
Yeah.
So if you want to be likely contrarian, Scotty Barnes is the play.
Agreed. Mikal Bridges came out firing again, 12 of 19. Dude's on quite a heater at the moment. You and I were watching this game. There was a moment where I think he hit 5 straight shots or something like that.
He didn't. No, he didn't. Yeah, I think it was. It might have been even more. He was the only one to shoot for like a 6-minute span, like the only one to shoot for Brooklyn, and they were all going in. It wasn't like they weren't. But he
took free throws. We were sitting there because we're all cheering for Cam Thomas, like, ooh, shooting foul. And then Mikal Bridges at the line. Really? But dude, 17, 22, 20, 19. I mean, that's just what it's. Yep. Washington, he had 27 actual against them in 13 rebounds earlier this year. 50 fantasy points. So Mikal's there at 87 if you feel like paying the pretty penny for him. We were talking about DDR. We got a return matchup here to San Antonio for him as well. Had a good day again against Charlotte. Didn't shoot well, but filled the stat sheet. Got you nearly 30. Happily to plug him in my lineup. If you want to do that as well. Franz missed the ocean there. 3 of 16 shooting against Cleveland. Good bounce back spot for him against Detroit if you want to pay that price tag. MPJ 74, Keldon 73. Our guy Bojan up to $6,500 now.
Yeah, I put it on Twitter. The moment of silence. Let's have a moment of silence for Bojan Bogdanovic, 5.1K, John. So let's bow our heads and just remember the good times that we had for one slate. Bojan at 5.1.
Happy to play all of these guys. MPJ maybe. Keldon.
Are you good with Bojan at 65 against Orlando? Yeah.
I have no reason not to be.
I'm not like I'm not.
Shots are great.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm not. Like I'm not saying I'm totally against it. I'm just a little indifferent, just maybe because the matchup. I think Orlando. I mean, just Orlando's given us a lot to think highly of this year. And 6,500 is obviously a quick price bump. So that's all I'm saying. That's
fine. That's fine. I just think he helps space that team. He just gives that team exactly. There's no Jalen Duran either in this matchup.
That is true. That is true. I wonder if we get they unlock James Wiseman.
No, it's gonna be Bagley again.
I know, but what's the point? What are we doing at this point?
I don't know. Let's see here. Clay 65. Denny 61. RJ 61. Their Jaquez end up playing 32 still. They just play all these guys.
They have a small rotation.
Yeah, which is good. We like that.
Yeah, we do. I don't love the 6K price tag, but I do like the.
Does Oscar Thompson re-enter the starting lineup with no Jalen Duran? Maybe.
I don't know. It's even if he does 5,800, dude. It's really it's bleak out there for him right now.
I mean, he's certainly lost the luster.
Yeah,
DeAndre Hunter, your boy's 56. I know you tend to go him.
I do.
THJ, 21 minutes off the bench, hit all his shots. So this is not a blowout. He probably would have gave you some decent run. Fontecchio, not really. Any Hart interest at 54?
Solid. I don't love the price. I mean, 24 fantasy points, and we get a price increase.
Yeah.
Probably not for me. Like if
he's been okay against Boston this year, but
yeah, I mean he's a good basketball player. Yeah. If I'm in this range, I'd probably just if Patrick Williams is starting 29 minutes, I'd rather just play him in the Spurs matchup, or like I'm gonna say Dylan Brooks, who's kind of randomly good at times, but coming off 32 fantasy points, like he spaces the floor well for them. Norma's here, as you mentioned.
You play Kogi starting probably.
I don't know because like
Chetty starting played 32 minutes.
These prices are disgusting. I just want to point out on both these players that you just mentioned. I get it. Chetty's fine. I would rather play Chetty. I feel much more confident that he'll shoot the basketball versus Josh Okogie, who might just
the Okogie price tag is because they had time to set the Durant news. So
I know, but like even like does Kevin Durant I don't know if Josh Okogie benefits in like any capacity.
He benefits from playing time. He played 8 minutes the other day.
I know, but he might just not shoot anyway. He just like might not shoot.
Well, Booker can't play the entire game. So
I'm gonna look. Let's give it a whirl on who else gets like, because like Nurkic is obviously
we've gotten
gonna
20 plus minutes rather than 3 the last 4 for Tari Eason.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely love that. Yeah. Grayson Allen's out too, right?
What's our Portland injury status here?
Grant out, Ayton doubtful, Brogdon questionable.
20 Kamara had the 13 rebounds.
He did.
Also fouled out of that game in 27 minutes.
Dude, everyone fouled out. Jabari Walker fouled out. Duop Reith had 5 fouls. They both balled. And then Tumani Kamara also fouled out.
Vince Williams played 25 minutes. Didn't do a damn thing, but he played him.
It's hard to do anything when Desmond Bane is doing what Desmond Bane.
That's fair.
That game, Desmond Bane. I'm not sitting here saying I want to. Like we saw, you said it, the Vince Williams thing. He just kind of doesn't do things at times. So,
Kispert, the cheaper version of Sam Hauser, did
cheaper version of Sam Hauser.
25 minutes. He actually plays more minutes than Sam Hauser.
That's a hilarious way to describe it. That's funny.
if Nasir Little starts over a Kogi, do you play Nasir Little?
Yeah, I would. I'd rather play. I'm actively hoping Nasir Little starts over Josh Okogie. All right. What's KBD? Is KBD here?
Power forward, only bad bet. No, small forward, power forward at 45.
I'd rather play.
He also played just 6 minutes in that game, so
yeah, that's true.
You know, Little played more minutes than KBD and Okogie combined last game. So
what's the
no Grayson Allen and no Kevin Durant? So
I know. What's the starting lineup here? If you had to guess, Booker, Nurk.
Oh well, yeah, okay, yeah. Booker starting like point guard. Would they go Goodwin, Booker, Gordon? Like
so
Little, Nurkic?
Maybe, I don't know. That's a lot of small. But Sacramento plays Porter, Barnes 6'9", Keegan Murray 6'10". I guess it's a fair point. Booker, Nurkic, Gordon is guaranteed. I guess the final 2 spots is going to go to it's got to go Okogie. You're probably right on Okogie starting, and then it just depends on the last starter. I would say Nas.
If they want to go small, then they go Goodwin. If they want to go bigger, they go Little or KBD.
KBD because he started already this year.
Mm-hmm.
They've all started this year. I
don't know, dude. Somehow the Patriots just won a football game. I don't know.
Good for. I'm good for. You know what? Good for them. I'm happy for them because
Pittsburgh had no time on the clock, and I don't know. They said there was like a long catch to somebody, but anyways, back to basketball. Towns 9K, Wemby against Chicago, $8,800. What do you think?
Yeah,
didn't have a good game against Minnesota. We said it might have been a tough spot. He still had a double. He just didn't give you much of anything.
Yeah, which is on Wemby-like. And Kobe White attacks the rim a lot. DeMar DeRozan, I don't know if you know, attacks the rim a lot. I saw
Kobe White get like 7 shots blocked.
Yeah.
As somebody who bet the over Kobe White points, the number of times he got swatted away by like PJ Washington and crew, I was like, this is frustrating. I think even like Ish Smith blocked one of his shots. I was like, what is happening here?
I think so as well. I'm definitely interested in Wemby at 88. I think that's a pretty good price tag.
Where's Miles Bridges? Did I miss him? Or is he
Miles Bridges is a 7,900. Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
I don't mind $7,900 for Miles Bridges here. Mentioned Siakam, 81. Again, coming off 45 fantasy points. Somebody's going to torch this Charlotte team here. Above him is your boy. Mm-hmm. I mean, has the man arrived?
Yeah, he's
42 actual against Cleveland.
In a loss.
Well, I mean, they're not going to win many games, I don't think. But
dude, what? Put some respect on Orlando's name.
I know they're
right
better.
now.
I don't think they're long-term better, but
Well, I mean, they have stockpiled enough picks over the years to and you got to think they're where they are without Fultz and without Wendell Carter Jr. all this time. Like neither guy has played. Orlando's 14-7, the 3 seed. What half a game, half a win, 1 win behind your Boston Celtics, who they beat. Just throwing it out there. Just saying. I'm not saying I don't disagree. I think Orlando firmly in the playoffs. How about that? They're a firm playoff team.
Sure.
My opinion. I think that
I won't argue too much with that one there. How do you feel? How do you feel though? Are you plugging Banchero at 83 against Detroit?
I mean, I've said this 4 straight slates. He's been 84, 84, 83, and I said people looked at that Washington game and didn't want to play him the next game, and he goes for 56, and then he comes out and he almost triple doubles the next game, and then he has the best game scoring he's ever had. And he's cheaper, or he's the same price. They didn't move his price. So now he gets the worst team in the NBA, a team that is really bad, just lost.
Could drop Bojan defense.
Dude, they just lost Jalen Duren.
Right.
We're running out a smaller Marvin Bagley and potentially the most foul happy human being ever in James Wiseman. 24th ranked defense. I mean, there's really no downside to playing Paolo. So yeah, sure.
I agree with you 100%. Such a great spot for Paola Banchero here. No disrespect to Kyle Kuzma, but Banchero is a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
A returning Porzingis, I have to imagine, will be limited.
Yeah.
They're just going to take it easy for him. You have Evan Mobley questionable. That's interesting. If Mobley doesn't play,
I would say a Coro small ball lineup would be my guess, but they could also do a Georges Niang. Yeah, Niang, Wade, or Coro. I mean, all of them obviously benefit tremendously, but if there is no Mobley, I mean, Jared Allen's a plug and play because we know Jared Allen's now
no Bam.
Not coming off the floor. I mean, Jared Allen's not coming off the floor. That would obviously make everyone more interesting. I mean, from top to bottom, that would take your pick on.
Of course, it's an 8:00 start time.
Yeah,
sad. Yeah, that's interesting. That's something to watch for sure. Mid-tier range guys here: Draymond, Aaron Gordon, Cam J, who just was on another one.
Yeah, to start the game, and then Bridges took over. We were I remember messaging. I'm the wrong Cameron is scoring every time down right now.
I don't love the 30-minute cap here though,
dude. It's annoying. It's annoying. Because they gave him that 38 minutes and then 35, and then he didn't play again. I don't
know how they got Dinwiddie back or something. They got healthier or something.
I think he got in that Chicago, the back-to-back. I think he got pulled his groin again or something, and then he played the next game. But they were all right, this guy actually just always gets hurt. We should probably just chill on the big minutes. Sure. And plus, they're just deep. It's they have a deep
they do have a lot of wins.
Bryce O'Neal. They have a lot of those. So yeah, 6,500 is fine. It's just not. You're right. There's a cap. Jabari Smith is a 38-minute ceiling for $100 cheaper. I'm not saying play Jabari Smith. I'm just saying the difference in
Yeah, Jabari's doing good. I didn't want to gloss over Keldon. We kind of skimmed over him at small forward.
Sure.
I mean, really good spot for him against Chicago as well. Happy to throw him. He'll definitely be in the player pool grid.
Yeah.
Haven't obviously written up the playbook yet for the core plays, but he's very intriguing play here at that price point. Where are you on the next group below here? I mean, is Mark Williams out again?
I think he's listed. I think we have an official questionable status. Yeah, he's questionable.
Questionable. All right. So I mean, you liked PJ Washington on the last slate.
Yeah.
He's 6K now. I mean, 9, 6, 4, 2, 1 had 5 fouls. I mean, a little bit more price bump, but Toronto plays smaller, more of a game style for PJ Washington out there.
Yeah, it was disappointing. I think that PJ Washington was also he's 5,400 last slate. Now he's $6,000.
True.
So
Sadiq Bey 57.
Yeah, Sadiq he had a monster game the other day. So yeah, I'm down getting to Sadiq. I'm down I'd rather that's I think the thing with PJ. I'm not saying I wouldn't play him at 6K, but we can also just play people for $300 cheaper.
Sure.
And people by that I mean Sadiq Bey.
Yep. Again, Isaiah Stewart's 55. Could start at center. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with him. Jabari, as we mentioned, played 22 minutes, fouled out, had 12.5. Price bump though, $5,200, less of a value now. Kevin Love against Cleveland only played 15 minutes there against Toronto, sadly, but had a really good run before. I don't know if they would need to throw him in the lineup for some size if Mobley and Allen play. Maybe you get more Love run in this game.
Dude, no one's getting time over my boy Orlando Robinson. Let's just move on from there. I mean,
all right. I mentioned already Osman played a bunch of minutes, so it could go there for some value. No one else down. Georges, I'm always just going to throw some Georges Love out there. My boy played 28 minutes. So
who's to say he doesn't play more? I mean, who's to say or it doesn't repeat that number if
Mobley's out?
Yeah.
Did he get those minutes because LeVert was out? Is that what happened?
Well, LeVert's been out. So he the last few games. So I'm not totally sure. I can popcorn machine it.
Yeah, we can popcorn machine, I guess. Joker, Embiid, Sabonis, Şengün, top 4 centers price wise.
Jared Allen only played 19 minutes.
Okay.
In case you wanted to know. He had
foul trouble.
He did not have a good time. Yeah, he picked up 3 second quarter fouls. And then picked up his 4th 3 minutes into the second half. So,
gotta love that for him. He still had 8 and 11.
Then picked up his 5th, early on in the 4th. He just could not stay out of foul trouble in that game.
So
I mean, that was big. I mean, Banchero had 50 free throws in that.
That's
game.
Fair. Anyways, top group here. Joker 22, 15, 10 gets Houston here against Houston in 3 games. He's averaging 80.
Good. That's a good number.
Seems okay.
Yeah, seems good.
74, 81. Where's the third? And 84. So I don't know. You tell me. They lost one of these games too, big, didn't they? 86 to 105. They lost. He played 42 minutes of that game and had 81. Didn't take him off the floor.
Didn't take him off the floor. No, that was also no Jamal Murray and all that stuff too.
Yeah, we know what Joel Embiid can be at 11-7. So both of those guys, you can fit them in your lineup. More power to you. I feel like Şengün has had some decent games there. 22, 7 and 4, 23, 8 and 5. He's averaging in 3 games 47 fantasy points for him there. Again, play him if you fit him. I don't really have a lean one way or the other. Do you?
No. If you want to play him, you can.
Yeah. I mean, pricing is even getting closer. So it's not even like a big discount on Embiid anymore. It's $300. Mid-tier range. We played Vucevic the other day. 43 fantasy points. 20 and 12. Good.
Yeah. I think him and DeRozan are max priced, but it's still fine.
Okay. Chet at 77. He had the big game, obviously sending that one into overtime. 36, 10, and 5 in that one. He had 32 fantasy points the game before that. He has a 45 fantasy point game against Golden State. So just matches up well for them there.
How many games how many times
did Draymond play?
Draymond's played one of those 3 games.
Which one?
He played on 11-3. What was that? I think that was 45.
11-3 was 45. 24, 5, and 8. So he's good.
Yeah,
he's a good player.
He is very good.
Didn't matter that Edwards is back. Rudy Gobert still did Rudy Gobert.
Dude.
20 rebounds against San Antonio.
Dude, he's been really good.
Yes.
He has been very good.
$7,400. Price is not caught up to the current production. He's giving you 7x essentially at this number. So close to 7x.
Yeah. The only concern was the 30 minutes, but it didn't. You look at that line, you're like, wow, he played 30 minutes and had 16 and 20, where he's played 39, 37, and 36 in 3 games prior. What would he have gotten to if he played 39 minutes in that game? 20, 30?
That's what I'm saying. It was a good spot for him there. Not John Collins. Nurkic could get some bump here.
Yeah.
Not like a great spot against Sacramento, but yeah.
I like Nurkic here. I mean, dude, he is a high usage guy. Like he's a skilled basketball player.
I always worry about going up against Sabonis for one reason or another, but
for foul trouble, yeah. I mean, he had 43, he had 31 and 6 against Jokic, not like a few days ago. You know, so he did foul out in that game though.
We're getting some like vintage Draymond games here.
We have, and they still almost lost to Portland, but we have been getting.
He played 29 minutes in that first game against them. 27 fantasy points, 15, 5, and 3. Could be viable. Could be a viable Draymond. I'll ask Sean. Sean will let us know if he's playing Draymond or not.
True.
Claxton, you picked the right Claxton day. You win the championship. So $6,600. Maybe it'll be against Washington.
Yeah.
Jared Allen, as we mentioned, there's no Mobley. We're in on. Let's see. Where's your next center?
Get to my boy. Go to 5,400 and just click on his name. Just see what he did.
15, 12, 4, 1.
Look at this man.
I know.
I've been screaming this from the rooftops every single time I get a chance. If there's no Bam, even when he wasn't starting, I was like, yo, Orlando Robinson is the clear backup center and is the clear best fantasy point per minute producer like in the world, I think. I think he's number one. I think he's better than Jokic at times. I would rather just have Orlando Robinson if I'm building a team today than Jokic or Embiid. I think that's a hot take. But I'm going to play Orlando Robinson 5,400. As long as he's going to continue to play, he is going to continue to produce. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's my next center.
Alrighty. Nick Richards played 27 minutes, had 6, 11, and 3 in that game. If there's no Mark Williams, we just go back to Nick Richards here.
No time wasted getting him from 37 to 4,900. DraftKings on the ball once
again. At least he's not like 5,900 though.
Sure. That is that would be. It would be like probably like an appropriate price point.
I mean, if he was to start, he's probably within that range here.
Wiseman is 44. Wiseman is 4,400. I think that is so hilarious.
Yeah, they knew what to do.
Yurt
7 played 20 minutes in that blowout, still had 8, 9. So, doing Yurt 7 things. We always know Okonkwo could be a guy in play here. I mean, I wouldn't play Bagley against Orlando or anything like that. I feel like my value would be Richards if he's out.
Well, Duop 4K?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, again, this is like not as surefire as it was.
I wasn't like in love with the play anyways, if you remember when we were like talking about it.
Well, it's 32.
He just helps you get
the
things, but I still think the floor is very low on this guy.
Well, it's definitely lower now that it's 4K.
Right.
Like it was 3,200. He stumbled his way into like 8x where it's like
because he's gonna have Kyrie and Luka driving into his chest for.
Yeah, no, it's a terrible. No, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just pointing out we understand that Duop Reith is going to. He's going to be popular. He's going to be popular.
Do we get the Drummond game?
I don't know.
I mean,
I can't wait till one game this year. Vucevic is late scratch, and we get to play Andre Drummond. I really can't wait. Because he is going to
31, 20, and 20 the last 3 games while playing 13, 15, 31 fantasy points in 13 minutes.
What did I think we had just started our call the other day, and I was like, do you want to guess what Andre Drummond just did in his first 2 minutes on the floor? He had like 6 and 4. Yeah. Like, dude, he's been on the floor for 2 minutes. How's this even remotely possible?
He's such a fun, weird player.
Yeah, he is such a fun, weird player.
Do we chase Daniel Tice game?
Talking about another fun, weird player who has just randomly found like a significant role with the Clippers.
Yeah.
Probably not, but it's fun. It's a 13-game slate.
It is.
I don't need to play Daniel Tice.
Let's build a lineup.
All right.
Where are we starting? Where are we going?
To the live stream at 5.
Right, so Paolo, power forward.
Yeah, probably Paolo. I'm just looking for like value.
Caleb Martin, 59.
Yeah, I was actually thinking the Heat in general. Like, I'm going to say
I'm just going to throw Niang out there because, I mean, why not?
Orlando Robinson, 54.
The Merits, Orlando. Sure, I'll throw Orlando Robinson out there.
There's Phoenix. The Phoenix value is obviously weird.
Yeah, well, we don't know what to go there. We only we talked about like Gordon, Nurkic, and Booker.
Yep. And then
do you want what? Booker and is 5,500, 54 a play. If Booker was your spend,
I don't know if is he our spend? Who do you feel is the spend? Because I'm looking at value as of right now. Like if everything just stayed put, it's pretty ugly. Duop Reith is going to probably first run is probably going to be popular. Koulibaly is 45. That would probably be a guy that we plug.
Yeah, I could do Koulibaly. I like Rozier. Shooting guard. Koulibaly.
Hard spot.
If we do Reith here, it's this $9,500.
No, don't play Reith. Don't play Reith just to spend up because that we didn't want to, right? Like we didn't want to spend up on Duop.
I don't disagree that he's a play. I mean, still 5x at 20.
Such a low floor, as you said.
It'd be a Caleb Martin shooting guard. He is. So I guess we can get a forward or util at 9,500. Could be buckets. Just complete your Miami sack.
Wemby.
There's like Donovan Mitchell, 9K.
Yeah. If we're playing Georgia's, I mean, I'm not saying we're assuming someone's out, but we might be assuming someone's out.
We know Levert's out.
Out, right?
We have $500 left over if we don't want to do our Reith. $4,500. Sam Hauser. Would you rather do up Reith? Jalen Noel? Would you rather Jalen Noel?
Yeah, Jalen Noel out there just chucking shots.
I mean it's not the worst. He's not the worst guy to have out there at 4,500.
He's out there chucking.
Donnie Mitch, Terry Rozier, Caleb Martin, Paola Banchero, Orlando Robinson, Bilal Cooley. Not Bilal Cooley. What's his name there?
Bilal Koulibaly.
There it is. Niang and Noel.
Bilal
Cooley. That's not his name. That's not his name. There's an example lineup for everybody. We'll have the playbook out for y'all. Remember, it is Listener League Friday, so check the description for the link to today's contest and to back in at 5 o'clock Eastern time. We'll be live breaking it all down, latest news. Till then, we'll talk to you later.